Picture this, June 2023, and I'm stuck working the graveyard shift at an air cargo warehouse. Now, when I say stuck, I mean trapped in a gray purgatory where every day bled into the next with no end in sight. The warehouse was a cold, cavernous space filled with the drone of machinery and the stale stench of sweat and despair. The work was grueling, the hours were unforgiving, and the people? Well, they were a collection of misfits and rejects, each more miserable than the last. My days were bleak, repetitive, and utterly soul-sucking. But then, as if the universe had decided to throw me a lifeline, September rolled around, and with it came a promotion. Supervisor, they said, a title that was supposed to make me feel important, like I'd finally made it. But in reality, it just meant more responsibilities, more hours, and God help me, more time spent in that wretched warehouse. But there was a silver lining, and it came in the form of a new hire, a 19-year-old kid with a charm that could light up even the darkest corners of that dismal place. Let's call him Alex. From the moment I laid eyes on him, I knew he was different. He wasn't like the ex-cons with missing teeth and a permanent chip on their shoulder that I had to work with. No, Alex was a breath of fresh air in a place that desperately needed it. He was smart, witty, and dare I say, charming in a way that made my heart race just a little faster. He had these beautiful brown eyes that seemed to see right through me, and I swear, he always smelled like a mix of fresh laundry and expensive cologne, a stark contrast to the sweat and grime that clung to everyone else. From the very first day we worked together, there was a spark. We spent our breaks together, grabbing coffee, sharing energy drinks, and having conversations that went far deeper than anything I had in years. We'd park in secluded spots near the airport, watching the planes land as the sun slowly rose over the horizon. It didn't take long for me to notice that Alex was flirting with me, and not subtly either. He'd leave little notes tucked into my high-visibility vest, fold origami cranes out of Post-it notes, and always seemed to find an excuse to touch me, whether it was brushing a strand of hair behind my ear or placing a hand on my shoulder as he passed by. I knew it was wrong. I was 23, his supervisor, and he was barely out of his teens. I tried to push him away, explaining that it could never happen, that he was too young, that it was inappropriate. But he was persistent, and damn it, I wanted him too. By November, things had taken a steamy turn. What started as innocent flirting escalated into something much, much more. We were sexting nonstop, sneaking off for oral during breaks, and having wild, uninhibited sex after our shifts ended. And let me tell you, it was incredible. The best I'd ever had. Better than any college hookup. Better than any boyfriend I've ever had. Every encounter was electrifying, leaving me breathless and wanting more. But of course, things didn't stay perfect for long. Rumors started swirling around the warehouse, and my managers began to suspect something was up. There wasn't an explicit policy against what we were doing, but that didn't stop HR from giving me hell. We had explosive arguments, with me defending my actions and them threatening consequences, but I didn't care. I didn't care about my reputation, about what my friends or family might think. All I cared about was Alex and the way he made me feel alive in a world that had otherwise left me numb. Then Christmas came, and that's when the cracks in my fantasy world started to show. A friend sent me a photo of Alex with a girl at his birthday party. A girl I didn't know, a girl I hadn't been invited to meet. My heart sank. I was devastated. In a fit of rage, I blocked him on everything and filled every pocket of his work jacket with craft glitter, a petty act of revenge, but it felt satisfying in the moment. But Alex wasn't done with me. He came back, apologizing, saying the girl was just a family friend, that there was nothing to worry about. And like a fool, I believed him. We were back to making out in my car during breaks in no time. I'll never forget the first time we kissed after that. It was like something had shifted. My feelings were stronger, and his seemed to be too. At first, it was just lust. I'd known from the first day that I wanted to sleep with him. But as time went on, it became so much more. Our job was brutal, physically demanding, and filled with people who treated me like dirt. But not Alex. He made me feel safe, warm, and wanted. He had this aura about him, this calming presence that made everything else fade away. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I knew he was lying to me, but I didn't care. Before I met him, I was numb, drifting through life without feeling much of anything. With Alex, I felt everything. Pain, joy, desire, anger. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and I was addicted to the ride. I started dressing up for work, wearing makeup and the sexiest outfits I could get away with in that grim warehouse, all to impress the boy who was clearly playing me. I had lost my mind, but I didn't care. When the time came for me to leave the job and move on to something better, I sobbed in his arms. But we didn't stop sleeping together. Even after I left, we kept seeing each other, kept the flame burning as bright as ever. And then February 2024 rolled around, and my friend, the same one who sent me that Christmas photo, texted me again. This time, it was the news I had been dreading. Alex had a girlfriend. Not just any girlfriend, but one he'd been with for over 2 years. The girl in the birthday photo was her, not some random family friend. My heart shattered. I blocked him, of course, but I couldn't let it go. I managed to get her contact info from my friend, and we talked. It went about as well as you would expect. Horribly. She confronted him, and he went on the defensive, painting me as some crazy stalker who blackmailed him into sleeping with me. He told her that I'd show up at his house uninvited, that I was obsessed with him. Lies. All of it. But convincing enough to make her block me on all her socials before we could dig any deeper. That was the last time I ever spoke to him. I couldn't believe it. After everything we'd been through, after all the intimacy we shared, he betrayed me like that. We had done things together that I couldn't even imagine doing with anyone else. Things that were so deeply personal and, yes, kinky. And still, he had lied to me, played me for a fool. And the glitter? Oh, that glitter. It was a small act of defiance, and yet after all that, he still begged me to come back. He had to have cared, right? On some level, he must have. It's been 7 months since then, and I'm still haunted by what happened. I've moved on, sort of. I have a new boyfriend now, and he's great. He's kind. He adores me. He's honest. I know he'd never keep me a secret or do anything like Alex did. But despite all that, I can't stop thinking about Alex. A part of me still holds onto the hope that maybe, just maybe, he'll come back into my life one day. And that's what's killing me. I know he was never honest, that I deserve so much better, but I can't shake the feeling that I'll never feel that way about anyone else again. I can't tell if it's because I still love him or if it's because I never got the closure I needed. It's been months and I just wanted to stop. I have a good man in my life now, so why can't I just be grateful for that? Why won't my feelings for this lying, manipulative boy just go away? This man's wife coerced him into an open marriage in order to cheat guilt-free. You won't believe the crazy details. Check out this video to find out.